folks, it's time to take a look at the Piklopedia from Pikmin 2, so buckle in for a hefty helping of lore, courtesy of Olimar's extensive research notes. Now, let's begin. Red Bulborb, Grub Dog Family. This large organism has the familiar mandibles and cranial morphology of the Grub Dog family, as well as the characteristic bulging eyes. As with most grub dogs, the creature's cranium comprises half of its total length and girth. Showing a scarlet abdomen with white spots, this creature is primarily nocturnal, choosing to prey upon smaller creatures returning to their nests. Originally classified as the Spotty Bulborb, further research has reclassified this species as the Red Bulborb. Subspecies of varied colors have recently been discovered, but academics are divided into two rival camps over how to handle their classification. Hairy Bulborb, Grub Dog Family. This subspecies of grub dog has a thick coat of soft, white fur that obscures its abdominal markings. The fur also warms its vital organs, making this species well adapted to colder climates. However, its hair follicles are surprisingly frail, which can result in immediate hair loss if the creature is surprised. Orange Bulborb, Grub Dog Family. This Bulborb species boasts a garish color pattern with deep orange body and black spots. The orange Bulborb's yellow, bloodshot eyes make it clear that this grub dog is excessively edgy and high-strung, making it much easier to wake from deep sleep than other species in the Bulborb family. Dwarf Red Bulborb, Breadbug Family. Although initially identified as a juvenile red Bulborb, groundbreaking new research indicates that this creature is in fact a member of the Breadbug family, a close relative of the vanilla breadbug. It escapes predation through mimicry. Unique adaptation of the red Bulborb's crimson coloration allows the species to safely commingle. Such effective adaptation and obfuscation by a prey species is rare, indicating this clever creature is a master of mimicry. Snow Bulborb, Breadbug Family. Like the dwarf red Bulborb, the Snow Bulborb is a member of the Breadbug family that seeks to survive through imitating the appearance and behavior of a Bulborb. Its pale coloration and blue spots make for easy identification. In particular, this organism mimics the hairy Bulborb, but it is, of course, unable to grow the hair that gives the hairy Bulborb its name. However, as the hairy Bulborb has been known to lose its hair in certain circumstances, the Snow Bulborb is an effective mimic that is often mistaken for a member of the same species. Dwarf Orange Bulborb, Breadbug Family. Just as a dwarf red Bulborbs mimic the appearance of red Bulborbs, it was theorized that an orange Bulborb mimicking variant must also exist. Recent fieldwork has confirmed this theory. Spotty Bulbear, Grub Dog Family. A mid-sized species within the Grub Dog family, the Spotty Bulbear's unique feeding habits set it apart from other grub dogs. The Spotty Bulbear patrols a set path searching for prey, instead of passively feeding on creatures that wander into a limited territorial range. When entering a Bulbear habitat, it is wise to proceed with extreme caution until the Bulbear's patrol path can be clearly identified. Dwarf Bulbear, Grub Dog Family. A grub dog larva in its third stage of development. This creature's body structure is nearing maturation. However, unlike mature Bulbears, it has yet to claim its own patrol route, and thus is dependent upon its parent for guarding direction. Bulborb Larva, Grub Dog Family. As its name implies, this creature is a Bulborb in an early stage of development. Its distinct Bulborb coloration is yet to appear, but it already exhibits other uniquely Bulborb characteristics. It is capable of hunting nourishment independently without the help of its parents. Fiery Bulblacks, Grub Dog Family. Bodily excretions of a highly flammable, waxy substance interact with the cell structure of this grub dog's skin, causing a chemical reaction that produces extremely high temperatures. The skin benefits from a spongy cell structure that diffuses the surface heat, protecting the creature's inner organs. Due to the astonishing amount of heat produced by this beast, it should be observed with great caution. Water Dumble, Grub Dog Family. A resident of freshwater pools and marshes, this aquatic creature regularly feeds on insects that land on the surface of the water. It shares a nearly identical skeletal structure with its close relative and terrestrial cousin, the Bulborb. This may offer clues to its evolutionary origin and suggests that it only recently emigrated to an aquatic habitat. Bulbmin, Pikmin Family. This loathsome creature is in fact a parasitic form of Pikmin that has infected a Bulborb. Unlike Pikmin that nest in Pikmin onions, this parasitic relative spends its life inside the body of a host. usually a Bulborb. Juveniles fall in line and mimic the actions of their parent until maturing to full independence. By burying its root-like limbs into the nervous system of the host Bulborb and infusing it with natural hormonal excretions, the Bulbin is able to control virtually all of the host's bodily functions. However, the host's ferocious appetite seems impossible to suppress. Fiery Blowhog. Blowhog Family. This creature expels a volatile phosphorus compound from its snout that combusts upon contact with air. This fire-breathing ability is dependent upon the air-to-fuel ratio at its mouth, catalyst reaction within the expelled compound, and purification of the compound. Thus, it is highly unlikely such a complex process could cause the spontaneous explosion of a fallen Blowhog. This process is also perhaps to avoid risk of spontaneous combustion in the belly of a live specimen. However, one should still treat a fiery Blowhog with great care, even after its life functions have ceased. Watery Blowhog. Blowhog Family. A variant subspecies of the fiery Blowhog. The watery Blowhog lacks several of the dominant genes necessary for the production of fire-producing catalysts, and thus expels jets of the non-flammable liquid. This subspecies appears to have only recently evolved. However, the hereditary traits of this variant are dominant and highly robust, so its population is rapidly increasing. Puffy Blowhog. Blowhog Family. This species of Blowhog uses internally generated hydrogen to inflate a flotation bladder and hover above the ground. The creature's electrified pulse creates a sash of color that flows along the surface of its body, making it a particularly beautiful Blowhog species. Precisely how it is able to internally stabilize its highly explosive hydrogen and simultaneously generate electricity remains a mystery. The Puffy Blowhog blows leaves and grass around to eat the insects underneath. It maintains mid-air buoyancy by using its fins and releasing air through blowholes. This enables it to float effortlessly, even in the breeze. In times of danger, the Puffy Blowhog can decompress its flotation bladder for a rapid escape from predators. Withering Blowhog. Blowhog Family. The Withering Blowhog is a close relative of the Puffy Blowhog, but its breath is significantly weaker. However, its breath does contain a petal withering plant hormone that causes flowers to instantly lose their petals. Although its breath has not been studied in detail, analysis of the chemical compounds involved hold great promise for the biotechnology sector. Armored Cannon Beetle Larva. Lithopod Family. This specimen is a lithopod larva. This expedition was unable to confirm the existence of any mature lithopods, leading to concerns that the species was extinct on this planet, but the discovery of the creature in larval form eased such concerns. Lithopods, like flint beetles, use internal metabacteria to aid chemical digestion. These metabacteria can only survive in certain environments, such as within the body of certain insects, so lithopod larvae do not contain any metabacteria immediately after hatching. Larvae feed on partially digested ore regurgitated by mature lithopods, ensuring the larvae obtain metabacteria they would not normally have acquired. Decorated Cannon Beetle. Lithopod Family. This creature is the larval form of a cannon beetle variant known for a diet consisting entirely of eating stones. The decorated cannon beetle favors stones with high iron content, which contributes to its brilliant red torso. The stones these creatures launch are wrapped in a powerful magnetic field, which causes the stones to stray from their launch trajectory when other objects with high metal content, such as spacesuits, are nearby. Extreme caution is recommended for explorers wearing steel-plated armor in close proximity to this fearsome creature. Gatling Groin. Unknown Family. This beastly predator's aggressive ejection of high-speed projectiles make it one of the most fearsome creatures in the ecosystem. Its body seems to comprise of both biological and mechanical components, and represents one of the most evolutionary advanced specimens ever observed. The chamber within its torso gives it rapid-fire biopellet launch capabilities. What appears to be a tail fin is in fact the base of its counterweight and ammunition cylinder, so immobilizing this appendage will prevent the Groin from attacking, at least in theory. Confirmation of this suspicion remains elusive, as nobody has volunteered to test it. Sheer Grub, female. Mandiblard Family. The males of this species are purple and black creatures with tapered mouths, while the females are lighter in color and lack an armored exoskeleton. As with most mandiblards, these creatures have regressed to the point where they have lost both legs and wings. They can be seen crawling around on the ground and are believed to feed on the vegetable extracts from the congealed fluids of expired Pikmin. Sheer Grub, male. Mandiblard Family. This specimen is a male sheer grub, having lost both legs and wings. The male burrows into the soil and waits to ambush small creatures that pass by. This beast's mandibles can be dangerous, making creatures such as Pikmin easy prey. Shearwig, Mandibulard family. Unusual for their genus, flying Mandibulards have retained their wings. However, only the adult males of this species can fly. Females of this species spend most of their lifespan underground. They do emerge for a period after maturation to spawn, but never metamorphose. Cloaking Bronet, Bronet family. The snake eye pattern on this beast's shell is one of the most distinctive features of the Bronet family. The red pattern of the cloaking Bronet and the spikes around its mantle make it easily identifiable while still making it a representative specimen of the Bronet family. The shell on the cloaking Bronet's back also provides a frame that fixes its muscular structure in place and appears to give the creature its powerful needle-launching attack. Ravenous Whiskerpillar, Whiskerpillar family. As the species of insect has only recently been discovered, full mature specimens have yet to be collected. No molding or metamorphosis has been observed during the observation period, making it unlikely that mature Whiskerpillars will be encountered anytime soon. Based on active predation by Pikmin, it's believed that the Whiskerpillar's place in the food chain has not changed over time. Anode Beetle, Scarapbeetle family. This specimen is representative of an insect hybrid that uses electricity in addition to glycogen for its energy. Although difficult to confirm due to their microscopic size, tiny hairs on the creature's legs cause the friction that generates the electrical charge. The electrical charge is processed by the creature's internal Magna battery structure and then stored as a 2s electrical field. As this field reaches critical levels, surplus electricity is emitted, resulting in a low voltage current that is transmitted between specimens. It can shock other creatures in the immediate vicinity. Considering this process, it could be surmised that the largest impetus to pack behavior is not so much for syngenic effect of producing as a pack, as it is to take advantage of this most effective means of group preservation. Hermit Crawmad, Crawmad family. Looking at the eyes and sickle-shaped legs characteristic of squillas, one would think this is a squilla relative. In fact, it is a relative of the hermit crab. This species, however, has migrated from seaside life in a shell and instead inhabits burrows in the ground. While its legs appear sickle-like, they are pincers that have evolved into a fin shape. This beast feeds on small creatures that pass by its lair, dragging them inside to eat them. Swooping Snitchbug, Scarpanid family. The Scarpanids originally lived on the ground, sporting poorly developed vestigial wings. This species developed enlarged antennae that could be used as makeshift wings. Scarpanids are attracted by the sight of large groups of Pikmin in cavalry formation and will swoop down to seize them. However, Scarpanids do not eat Pikmin, and they will drop unseized Pikmin after a short time. The reason for this behavior is unknown, but I look forward to future research in the area. Bumbling Snitchbug, Scarpanid family. This is a variety of snitchbug. Its most interesting characteristic is that it likes to snitch leaders, yet barring wanton carelessness or incompetence, leaders are not easily captured. Any leader caught by this creature is clearly an idiot, which is why this creature is also known as the exposing snitchbug. There are several known varieties of snitchbugs, but research has stagnated despite it being such an interesting species. Careening Dirigibug, Dirigibug family. This creature floats effortlessly through the air using gas-filled balloons. Both its appearance and its nature are antagonistic, and it is the only variant of its species in this ecosystem. It may be best to consider the possibility that it somehow wandered into this ecosystem from an entirely alien one. Positive proof does not exist at this point, but that is how the creature is currently classified. Antenna Beetle, Kettlebug family. This creature is able to control the Pikmin by way of the peculiar frequency of its roar, but its only objective seems to be defensive in nature, as it stops Pikmin from attacking and forces them to run away. This beast prefers humid, dimly lit environments, and has been known to inhabit empty and discarded containers. For this reason, it's wise to thoroughly ventilate any specimens that are recovered. Lifting off with one of these creatures in the hold can lead to a rupturing of a specimen during decompression, resulting in an explosive mess. Iridescent Flint Beetle, Flint Beetle family. Flint beetles are nocturnal, choosing to hide in the grass by day and stay active at night. These creatures keep undigested food pellets in their stomachs to sustain them through winter, but given the right stimulus, they will spit them out. Recent research has revealed that these pellets are enveloped in a membrane that seals and preserves them in a sterile, airtight environment. If kept at room temperature, it seems that this pellet membrane will keep its contents fresh for up to 6 months. The membrane may be made from the same substance that gives the exoskeleton of the flint beetle its beautiful sheen. Iridescent glint beetle. Glint beetle family. This variety of beetle consumes subterranean minerals. Due to the fact that it rarely emerges above ground, sightings of this particular species are extremely rare. While minerals are this beast's primary source of food, the beetle itself does not have the ability to digest these minerals. Instead, metabacteria living inside the beetle's stomach chemically break down the minerals. The resulting purified metal is discharged, but rare metals such as gold and platinum crystallize onto the iridescent glint beetle's shell, resulting in the beautiful laminated shimmer. Doodlebug. Flintbug family. While life forms that excrete foul musks to warn of danger are not rare, the doodlebug is the only species known to release flatulence when active above ground. Interestingly enough, since it is merely releasing the gas created by decay of the contents of the creature's intestines, it does not have a special musk-producing organ. This means the creature is in fact merely flatulating. Spectral analysis of the rank gas indicates it contains not only methane, but hydrogen sulfide as well, making the flatulence a grade 13 biohazard. Meatite. Unknown family. These parasitic insects feed on eggs. Upon reaching maturity, they excrete a special pheromone that attracts females of particular species, enticing these females to swallow the metites whole. Pikmin, however, seem to dislike the scent. After entering the host female's body, the metites lay their own eggs inside the host's eggs just prior to the host spawning. Lesser spotted jellyfloat. Jellyfloat family. This native jellyfloat is indigenous to the region. Unfortunately, it is currently endangered as its habitat is being overwhelmed by hostile immigrant species. Greater spotted jellyfloat. Jellyfloat family. Vivid pink coloration is the most noticeable characteristic of this floating life form. This immigrant species is not native to the region, having appeared to have recently arrived on wind currents. The luminescent organ in its head attracts prey, which it then sucks up and consumes with its lower orifice. Unlike jellyfish, the jellyfloat's tentacles do not have nematocysts, so there is no danger in touching them. Fiery Dweevil. Dweevil family. Members of the Dweevil family are known for carrying objects of astounding size on their backs, then mimicking them. The fiery Dweevil is one species in this family. Generally, this is a very gentle insect that feeds on grass nectars, but when faced with danger, the fiery Dweevil ignites flammable internal gases, juts out its jaw, and spews scorching flames. As this clearly makes it a rather dangerous insect, it is best not to linger directly in front of it. Dweevil. Dweevil family. Members of the Dweevil family are known for carrying objects of astounding size on their backs and mimicking them. The Dweevil is one species in this family. They seem to have no particular preference for which object they carry on their backs, as they will carry anything they can lift. They boast an internal organ that generates electrical charges, which the Dweevil releases when it senses danger. Caustic Dweevil. Dweevil family. The caustic Dweevil is one member of an insect family known for mimicking objects by carrying them on their backs. Several points of differentiation with other members of the species have been confirmed, such as body colors and behavioral patterns, but none of these suggest major deviations in the creature's genetic structure. This makes it clear that it is a relative of the family. When attacked by enemies, the caustic Dweevil spits out bodily fluids in response. Spacesuits corrode and oxidize when they come in contact with this highly acidic liquid. Munge Dweevil. Dweevil family. The Munge Dweevil is one member of an insect family known for mimicking objects by carrying them on their backs. These insects often carry carcasses of other life forms on their backs, but apparently this is not for the purpose of transporting them as food, but instead is another example of their mimicking behavior. The Munge Dweevil produces two different chemical compounds within its body, which form poisonous gas when mixed and expelled. This gas is used only for self-defense. Volatile Dweevil. Dweevil family. The volatile Dweevil is one member of an insect family known for mimicking objects by carrying them on their backs. The Dweevil family exhibits a most unusual characteristic, whereby the creature's behavioral patterns actually change based upon the object the creature carries on its back. The volatile Dweevil has one of the most potent attacks of all species in within the Dweevil family, due to its habit of carrying explosive devices. Approach with caution and/or body armor. Toady Bloister. Mollusking family. This species of creature has yet to fully evolve from shelled mollusk to the more advanced Bloister. Compared to the Bloister, this creature is significantly smaller. The fact that its mandibles do not protrude as significantly as the ranging Bloister is due in part to the fact that, like most mollusks, its vital organs are located deep within the creature's carapace. Yellow Wallywag. Amphiduber Family. This magnificent specimen has the brightest gold coloration and the greatest number of lateral spots of any member of the Amphiduber family. This species seems to have lost some swimming proficiency with the evolutionary adaptation that granted it greater jumping ability. The Amphiduber inhabits aquatic shallows and shows an instinctive drive to jump upon and squash smaller creatures. Wallywag, Amphiduber Family. It is believed that juvenile Wallywags were once carried by underground current into caverns, where they thrived in the dark habitat. This troglodytic species of Wallywag's coloration results from generations of cave dwelling and lack of sunlight. Comparative differences between the size and shape of this Wallywag and other species are thought to be the result of natural selection at work, choosing traits better suited for life in a subterranean environment. Wogpole, Amphiduber Family. The Wallywag spawns in early spring, laying its eggs on low-hanging tree branches and shrubs growing in or near lakes and ponds. Such unorthodox amphibious behavior is a defense mechanism, protecting the eggs from predation by blue Pikmin and water dumples. The Wallywag's wild hopping near the shoreline in early spring is thought to be a method of driving predators away from the wogpole eggs. Honeywisp Family. This floating life form drifts effortlessly on the winds. Upon death, its physical structure instantly collapses, and as the creature is particularly elusive and difficult to catch, no sample specimens have been acquired as of yet. If we could simply recover a live sample, research on this species would likely proceed more smoothly. Unmarked Spectralids, Flitterby Family. When strolling through the forests of this planet, clouds of these creatures are seen dancing overhead. Like flower petals drifting in the breeze, the sight of Flitterbys dancing in the lush green undergrowth is unforgettable. Flitterby collectors drool over specimen sample boxes lined up in order, highlighting the slight color gradation changes from blue to red to yellow. Such items fetch particularly high prices at auction. Lapis Lazuli Candy Pop Bud. Candy Pop Family. No matter what color Pikmin is tossed into the bosom of this flower, it spits out the same number of blue Pikmin. This family of plant boasts soft, fleshy leaves, the sinewy tendrils of which allow the flower to open and close repeatedly over the course of a day. Crimson Candy Pop Bud. Candy Pop Family. No matter what color Pikmin is tossed into the bosom of this flower, it spits out the same number of red Pikmin seeds. The Pikmin, the Candy Pop flowers, and the Pikmin onions are not easily explained by current theories of the xenobotanical sciences, and thus have not yet been appropriately studied and classified. Golden Candy Pop Bud. Candy Pop Family. No matter what color Pikmin is tossed into the bosom of this flower, it spits out the same number of yellow Pikmin seeds. Current research has yet to produce any theories as to precisely what kind of interaction causes the Pikmin to change color to match the color of this flower's petals. Violet Candy Pop Bud. Candy Pop Family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of Candy Pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern, regardless of geographic region. Tossing Pikmin into this flower results in the release of purple Pikmin seeds, regardless of the color of Pikmin tossed in. This variety of Candy Pop contains robustly odoriferous oils. If Candy Pop flowers could be cultivated, there is no doubt that the plants would offer multifaceted benefits to the cosmetic, medical, and tourist industries. Ivory Candy Pop Bud. Candy Pop Family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of Candy Pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could surmise that it could be found in any cavern, regardless of geographic regions. Tossing Pikmin into this flower always produces white Pikmin seeds, regardless of the color of Pikmin tossed in. In many cases, plants with small leaves typically have limited photosynthetic capabilities, and thus must find alternate means of obtaining nutrients, with parasitic and predatory behavior being most common. The Candy Pop could be considered one such example. Queen Candy Pop Bud. Candy Pop Family. This specimen constantly changes colors. When Pikmin are thrown into it, it shoots out seeds that match the flower's coloration the moment the Pikmin landed inside of it. The number of seeds shot out is always greater than the number of Pikmin thrown in. It can be said that this is a completely baffling plant, and many mysteries remain over precisely what sort of relationship it has with the Pikmin. It would appear that the Pikmin gain all of the benefit from the relationship. Perhaps it is simply a different variety of Pikmin to begin with. Creeping Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum Family. Like Pikmin, the creeping chrysanthemum is a member of a group of creatures with ambulatory root structures. This creature is known as a mimic, but because it is actually a form of plant, this label is not entirely accurate. For unknown reasons, the creeping Chrysanthemums' mimicry does not fool Pikmin, perhaps because they share a similar heritage. It relies on preying upon other creatures to provide sustenance, so it has no need of leaves for photosynthesis. Generally speaking, the role of plants within an ecosystem is as a producer species, and thus plants are generally found at the bottom of the food pyramid. However, on this strange planet, the line between producer plants and consumer plants is blurred. Skitterleaf. Skitterling family. The skitterleaf is a relative of the pond skater that shed its wings and adapted to life on the ground. With no residual traits of its airborne past, the skitterleaf can neither fly nor skid across the surface of the water. The wings have since evolved into the leaf-like structure on its back, which serves to hide the skitterleaf through mimicry. It appears quite effective, as few predators can see through this clever disguise. Mamuda. Unknown family. The imbalanced, asymmetrical arms of the Mamuda are among its most notable features. Feeding on seeds and fruit, the Mamuda is known to actually sow and grow plant species. While other species have exhibited seed-bearing behavior for the purpose of storage, the Mamuda is the only species so far known to actually cultivate fields of plants. Breadbug. Breadbug family. The adult breadbug competes for many of the same food sources as Pikmin, but its thick-skinned hide allows it to withstand most Pikmin group attacks. However, some researchers claim to have observed breadbugs being overwhelmed by massive numbers of Pikmin and reduced to food. Pellet posy. Pelletweed family. In the stem of the pellet posy, one can observe the muscle fiber unique to half-plant, half-animal species such as the Pikmin and candy pop flowers, so the pellet posy is a species that can be considered a close relative. Although the ability to crystallize nectar is unique to a small group of the pelletweed family, the fact that these plants reach maturity so quickly and that their pellets contain such high concentrations of natural nutrients in the soil explains why the Pikmin and so many of the other indigenous species are so reliant on these pellets for sustenance. Common glowcap. Glowcap family. The light emitted from this rare mushroom is neither a reflection nor a release of stored light. It grows not only on decomposing trees, but also on soil and rocks. This mushroom's fungal filaments are capable of stabilizing and concentrating pure Hocatadium 111. It is none other than the Hocatadium 111 approaching the point of critical mass that causes the glowcap's blue luminescence. Clover. Clover family. This is a naturalized species. These plants are extremely persistent, and with the assistance of a symbiotic fungus that grows on its roots, the species is able to survive even in drought conditions. Typically, its leaves come in groupings of 3, but intense impact on the leafing stem early in the development cycle can result in an extremely rare 4-leaf cluster. Figwort. Figwort family. This plant offers an excellent example of a non-native species introduced into the ecosystem by some unknown method. Upon introduction, it quickly established a foothold and adapted to the new habitat. This plant's distinct flowers usually exhibit a stunning blue color in early spring, but recent field work has recorded specimens displaying a deep red hue. Although this may represent a sudden deviation in genetics of the species, the red coloration is much more likely an anomaly. Additional readings suggest no significant atmospheric or solar radiation changes have occurred in the ecosystem, leaving open the possibility that soil composition and mineral deposits may have affected petal coloration. Dandelion. Dandelion family. This perennial grows best in locations with full sun exposure. Its flowers boast countless tiny yellow petals packed together in a head. The species seems to have as many weed-like variants as petals, so more detailed research on these plants would best be left to a botanical research specialist. Seeding dandelion. Dandelion family. It is believed that this plant produces tufted seeds with a parachute-like arm, which allows the seeds to ride gently on the wind. This increases the distribution range of the plant considerably. Horsetail. Horsetail family. This variety of horsetail is prevalent in regions with low nutrient content in the soil. Unlike most other plants, this particular species propagates itself through the release of spores. Foxtail. Foxtail family. This plant remains erect after withering and losing its color, so we can only hypothesize about the true color of the plant's plumage. However, local soil analysis indicates trace amounts of dormant seeds, making it not hard to imagine that the area was thick with these plants in the summer. Glowstem. Glowcap family. Although they are obviously unrelated, the glowstem bears a striking resemblance to the streetlights on Hocatade. It is highly possible that glowstems could be a relic of some unknown civilization beyond the scope of our imagination. Margaret. Chrysanthemum family. This plant's delicate yellow flowers often inspire waves of nostalgia, giving a bittersweet feeling to anyone who gaze upon them. Flitterbies. Fern family. At first glance, this plant resembles the spring used in the ship's sublight engine. Many of its most primitive characteristics remain intact, including its habit of spreading through the dispersal of spores. Shoot. Unknown family. This is a young shoot of some kind, but what kind of tree species does it belong to? What shape will it take when it matures and grows to full height? Unfortunately, we are only able to obtain information from our portable scanners on a select few of the countless number of species we've encountered. But even if our expedition yields only brief observations on the life we encounter, it will still provide a better understanding of this bizarre planet. Empress Bulborbs, Grub dog family. Initial observations placed doubt on the capability of the grub dog family to support a strong ant or bee-like social structure, but recent studies show the family is capable of such complexity. The egg sac on the largest female grub dog within a given range swells to dramatic proportions in response to environmental changes, such as the sudden depletion of prey species. These females temporarily take on the role of pack matriarch. Also, in pack formation, it has been observed that nearly all males not involved in species reproduction undergo natural sex changes. The characteristics of such specimens are quite intriguing indeed. Burrowing snagret. Snavian family. The majority of snagret species lie in wait to ambush and capture prey, with a body type perfectly adapted to such sudden strikes. It violently attacks small surface-dwelling insects. Distributed across a relatively wide range, subspecies of snagrets suited to the varying soil conditions have emerged, making the snagret the most geographically represented species besides the bulborb. Visually resembling the burrowing snagret is the burrowing snarrow, the range of which partially overlaps with the snagret's range. While the two may appear similar, when both on the ground they can be distinguished by the presence or absence of tail and wing markings. Beady longlegs, Arachnorbs family. Although this creature is commonly associated with spiders, it is actually the result of a separate evolutionary line of insectoid creatures. Since the spherical body section supported by the creature's legs carries most of its internal organs, there appear to be no other features that would correspond to a head or abdomen. Emperor Bulborbs, Grub dog family. The largest member of the grub dog family is normally found buried in the ground, with only the stalks of its eyes exposed. This camouflage allows the predator to surprise smaller creatures and use its long, adhesive tongue to capture prey. The thick hide and angular hump give the organism a distinct rock-like quality. During the rainy season, moss grows freely on its hump, making it nearly impossible to distinguish this lethal predator from a stone. Giant breadbug. Breadbug family. This gargantuan species of the greater breadbug family has a torso so perfectly square that it almost seems like it was formed in a mold. For a brief period after birth, the giant breadbug competes for food with smaller breadbugs, but upon reaching maturity, it seeks out much larger prey. This is the primary reason that two species with similar feeding habits can coexist in the same habitat. Hordes of Pikmin appear to pose the only plausible threat to this massive creature's life. Pileated snagret. Snavian family. This variety of snagret has the ability to both burrow underground and walk above it. Its earthy red coloration and distinct yellow ear and eye markings make it immediately recognizable. Despite featuring a chimera-like merging of serpent and avian features, the pileated snagret has poor eyesight for a bird, perhaps due to extended periods spent underground. To compensate for this, its nose features a thermal sensing organ common to many snakes, making it a dangerously effective hunter. Man-at legs. Arachnorb family. This species of the Arachnorb family fuses with machinery at a crucial point in the maturation process, giving it the ability to fire energy bursts from the launcher beneath its orbital torso. However, the man-at legs itself is not in control of this weapon. Instead, the mechanical portion of its structure appear to automatically acquire and attack targets. The man-at legs has a gentle disposition, and as a member of the Arachnorb species, it has no natural enemies. It is particularly difficult to understand why this species would develop such awesome offensive capabilities, leading to rumors among the scientific community that it was the machinery that approached the Arachnorb and proposed the symbiotic relationship. Ranging Bloister. Mollusking family. This species of mollusk has shed its shell through the process of evolution. What appears as a flower-shaped protrusion on its back actually functions as its gills. The ranging Bloister ensnares small animals with its sticky tentacles, reels them in, and consumes them. Observers have noted that this creature exhibits a keen interest in flashing objects. It often tries to capture and ingest these objects. Researchers and explorers equipped with flashing identification beacons should be wary when in close proximity to this dangerous predator. Water wraith. Unknown family. All that is known about this creature stems from a few sightings deep underground. All reported sightings feature the same core set of details. A giant viscous form with a clear, hazy sheen not unlike hard candy. One theory holds that it may be the ectoplasmic incarnation of a kind of psychic phenomenon, but as is usually the case with such theories, it is very difficult to prove. All witnesses report being suddenly overcome with fear upon sighting the creature, approaching a state of panic and near insanity. In fact, every report contains an inordinate amount of extremely vague details, which has led to suspicions that exhaustion and fear have caused some simple natural phenomenon to be viewed as a living creature. Segmented cropster. Creep crab family. This gigantic beast is wrapped in a hard shell. In an atypical evolution, the right front leg of this creature is hypotrophic, taking on the function of an arm rather than a leg. Its asymmetric physical development is unique in the natural world. One unlucky explorer's incorrect conclusion that this creature adheres to a pattern of peaceful, quiet behavior led to an unfortunate incident. In fact, this beast exhibits intensely hostile, aggressive tendencies, aiming at prey and ramming them at full speed. Raging long legs. Arachnorb family. Arachnorbs boast a wondrous biological composition, with a silicon-based exoskeleton and innards coated with malleable heavy metals. However, much about these creatures remains a mystery, as specimens regularly explode when they are dissected. These explosions produce scorching flames that completely melt all internal organs, leaving us with a disappointing lack of information on the inner workings of the species. We must await the development of new dissection processes and more specialized research before we can better understand this enigmatic creature. However, the following observation notes have been recorded. It appears to be leveling terrain for some unknown purpose. Location of eyes and ears not readily apparent. Freezing a specimen may yield new research opportunities. Titan Dweevil. Dweevil family. The largest member of the Dweevil family, this fearsome predator carries protective components that frequently exhibit offensive capabilities, an evolution that may be attributed to mere chance. Another evolutionary theory is that the chemical contents of the containers carried by Titan Dweevils contribute to possible gene splicing. While other Dweevils do not seem to choose the objects they carry, the Titan Dweevil appears to prefer shiny objects above all others.